Okay, welcome everyone. I am Jan from Crafty Crafts. Welcome back to my channel. I'd like to welcome new members that have subscribed to my channel. Thank you so very much, and I really appreciate all you guys who have subscribed before and my new subscribers. I'd like to give a special hello to Donna, Dawn, Elizabeth, Christian, I think that's how it's pronounced, Brenda and Helga. Thank you guys for joining in. I hope you enjoyed what you've seen so far with my channel. I had a request from one lady asking about my Pandora beads. They are really easy to do. They're not hard. I've got some that I've done, some glazed, some unglazed. So these ones here are all unglazed. I haven't glazed, but they have been dipped. I dipped them all first in this. Whoops, upside down. With this. They really rock hard. They're quite hard. Sort of a bead. And then these here I've dipped once. I've only dipped these once at the moment. These ones here have already got little what do you call them, eyelets in them, or cores, not cores. I'm not sure what they call them, but they're not the Pandora things. They're actually just eyelets. These ones here are 4.5 millimeter grommets or eyelets. These are just very common ones I've picked up from Spotlight. These ones here I got off Wish, I think I got them from. But you really need to glue them in. As you can see, they fitted in quite firm. Which one is it? One of these was out before it came out. Yeah, this one. And I couldn't get it back out, but these others are glued in. This one wasn't. So it was quite tight, and I thought, oh, well, it may stay in, but they really need to be glued in. When I glaze this lot, I'll come back, when I've dipped them I should say, I'll come back and then show you how I glued them in, and how I add the little decorative pieces to that. And these, the little decorative pieces I've got all around here, they're all nail things. I got all this from Temu. These are just all nail pieces. This one I've had quite a while because I used to do nail gel art, gel nails at some stage. So these are just all little pieces. I got these from Temu. And I'll just show you how I applied all these little pieces in part 2. So we'll just do 2 parts, part 1 and part 2, so that you can sort of see the process, how I do these. And you can use nail polish too if you wanted to, or you could acrylic paint them. It's up to you how you want to do your beads. There's no right or wrong way, I don't think. So I'll just get these out of the road. Once again, I've got my door open, but I'm on a busy street, so I'm just going to put these in here. The paper I use, if I use copy paper, if it's around 100, 80 I should say, GSM, I used 2, but today this one here I think was 170. This one here, we're going to use that. And also you can use cardstock. This is just a normal common cardstock that I'm going to use that also. I've already got the cardstock cut out. This is the black, but I did want to do some with that, but I'll roll that one because it's already cut. But I will show you how I did that. This one here, I've already done one. Now these, it's not dipped or anything, and I've got to try and get it back out. See, it's quite tight, but they will come out. This is one that I've done. As you look in there, it's all white. But what I do is put black felt pen, and I'll show you that when I'm ready to roll it. And this one comes from this paper here. That's from that paper there. It's just a photocopy that I bought a long time ago for junk journaling backgrounds, and that was in one of the background prints that I had, so I've got that. These ones here are bigger eyelets. These ones are 5, so 5 millimeter, so they're pretty big. So for 5 millimeter I use the bigger paper winder. You can get a knitting needle. I haven't got a thick one here, but when you slide it onto your knitting needle, it'll go up, it'll slide, and when it slides to the point and won't go further, you know that that's the size of your knitting needle that you want to wind with, if you have some of these. And I haven't got one handy. My knitting needles are all packed up, so I do apologise for that. So what else have I had? This is the 4.5, the large eyelet. When you get the large eyelet from Spotlight, and that's the large one I use for the large, as you can see. These, I've just made these myself, because when I was putting that one in, it split my timber, so my dowling rod, so I unglued it and then wrapped wire around, but I've never taken the wire off, so that's why that's on there. But it doesn't bother me any. So to do this, you need your paper, you need a pencil, and always mark on the back of your print, otherwise you'll get the pencil mark unless you want to rub it out. You'll need a Nico. I've got the ruler, a pair of scissors and glue. Okay, so these ones, I'm going to measure these ones here. I'm going to do a centimetre, but this one here, I measured it 1 centimetre plus 1 millimetre, because of my eyelets being long. So that's why I did that. I didn't want to push my thing down, otherwise I mark all the my paper, squish it up, and I done that in one of the ones I've got there that I first made, and I had to get a file then, and then a round file, and go down to sand off the paper. So let's get rolling here. I hope everybody's doing well. Now I'm going to measure a centimetre here, and I will do the next one as a centimetre also. So I'll go up the top. So I'm going to put 1 centimetre, because it's done in 3 strips, and I'm just going to put a mark for a centimetre there, because that way it helps me to get it level, if you know what I mean, you know. So I'm going to now, that's a centimetre, so I've got a point of 0.5 is the centre there. So I'm going to go take 2 off, yeah, 1, 2, so that would be one line. Then I go 1, 2, that's another line. So this little piece here, that little piece there, you can see, we're not worrying about this here now because that's going to be cut off. This piece here is a 7 millimetre, sorry. So down there, then we got 1 centimetre. Down here we've got 1 centimetre. There we got 1 centimetre. Is that clear? So then, because I've got I've got 7 millimetres up there, I'm going to do another centimetre, yes, 1 centimetre here, and then I'm going to do the measurements I've done there to make it 7 millimetres. So I've got the, mark my centre piece, centre in the middle, then I'm going to go 1 millimetre, 2 millimetre, so that's the draw line, and then back from the other side I'm going to go 1, 2 to there. I'm not sure whether you can see that. I'll bring it up a bit closer if I can. So see what I mean there? I'm hoping that's clear enough. I'll see if I can bring it up without it going blurry, because I've got to get a new camera at some stage. Does that bring it up a bit better? So I've got a centimetre here. As you can see, there's a centimetre there. I've got another centimetre here. And then the next one, like I've got a 2 millimetre gap here. That doesn't matter because that gets cut off. But I've measured 1 centimetre piece again. So I've got my centre piece there. Then I go 1, 2, a line. Then from the other end of my centimetre, I go 1, 2, then I've got another line. So that's in there is 7 millimetres. Okay, so now we'll mark them out. And then I'll mark the other one. So we're going to go the corner here where I've got the line, whoops, I'm out of line, there. I'm going to put my ruler on there. I'll just get these out of the way to give me more room. So I'm going to put my ruler on that main line that I've already got marked. I'm going to put my ruler on there. Then I'm going to bring it over to my next line. Then I'll draw a line. Go straight up there. So then I'm going to go over to my next line, which is here. Because that was a centimetre from there to there, and I went in 2 to there. No, I didn't. Sorry, I'm confusing myself. That's right, this is a centimetre, so my centimetre line is there. That's the scribble mark I had there. I got myself confused. So then the centimetre on the bottom, then I'll bring it back up to my little marking, second marking, marking back from the other one that I did at the top. Because remember I did a centimetre space up there, and I divide it down where I had that. So this part here, this part all down here, all down there, all gets cut out. That part down there all gets cut off. So then we've got 7 millimeters here. So we've already marked that out, because we marked out another centimetre. Then I marked the centre piece, and then 1, 2, then 1, 2, and that makes it 7 millimeters, which that piece there has got to come down here, and you'll see that when we're starting to put it together. So up the top here, where this line here where I've got that to be cut off, I'm going to put my ruler on that, and then from that line there I'm going to measure a centimetre, but I'm going to divide it, and that will give me a peak. So it will look like this. I'll get my little pieces out. So this one here is a centimetre wide. So that's that piece we've got there. Okay. Then this one is a centimetre on the bottom, but then we've gone to 7 centimetres, 7 millimetres, sorry, up the top. So you got the little gap there. Okay, you got a gap there. Then this one, turn it around. Let's see if we can fit it in. Side along. Just that I've brought my camera up close. So that one belongs in there. This one belongs here. Now this one is tapered. Okay, it's got a point. So this is 7 millimeters. So that one goes in there, and that's there. See, and you've got the gap. And then that comes to the peak. These are a bit shorter than what I've done there. So we mark that one out. Okay, to my peak. And then I'll go to there. And this is this other centimetre piece that this one here on this side all gets cut off. This all gets cut. But don't throw it away, because you can wind that into a bead. That all gets cut. Then this one here, you cut that piece off also. Okay, that piece there gets all cut off. So we'll cut that out, then I'll mark another one. So we'll cut the whole lot out all together. If you like to, or whoever would like to, you could go over to my Facebook group, and I'll find a piece of paper. Put writing in there. And you will find some little pieces that I've already marked out for nothing, that I've actually marked out for whoever like to go in there. So it's JJ's Paper Beading Buddies. and I think I spell it A-N-D, more. So that's my Facebook group. Whoops. So if you'd like to pop over there, and you can, and I'll have that marked in the description also. I was going to change the name to of my YouTube channel, but I do a lot of different crafts, so that's why I've got A to Z Crafty Crafts, because it's I do multiple crafts. Now this is the piece that I marked that we were going to cut off. Okay, that piece we can put it aside or put it in the bin, but we're not going to put it in the bin, okay? We keep that to roll another bead. So my main piece I'm cutting out now. So that's my main piece. Okay. So I'll put that one up there. Then this other piece is a throwaway piece too, but we're not going to throw it away. I'm going to cut it online, otherwise I'm not going to have it exact to meet up. And if they don't quite meet up when you're rolling it, we can sort of trim that off a tiny fraction to meet up, so it's not going to throw everything out of portion. Because we're not using a Cricut or one of those machines that can do the cutting for us where they're exactly right all the way round. We're doing this by hand. I have a Cricut, but I found that when I went to cut some of my strips out with the Cricut, they still didn't meet up properly, some of them. So yeah, so nothing's perfect, but to get your shapes like this, they need to be really precise, the joining up pieces of it. And if they're not sort of all level on top, there is a trick that I have done over the years. I get a nail file and sand it back, but that'll be down the track. I'll show you what I've done there. I'll make a boo-boo, and then if I happen to do a boo-boo here, I will show you what I've done. So now we're going to cut out another one, because this is all straight down here now. There's no slope or slant or anything like that. So we're going to mark out 1 centimetre, and that's my sharp pencil. So we're going to make out 1 centimetre there, another centimetre here, because this end will join up with that end even. Okay, we won't go the other step first, we'll do this. So we're just going to go 1 centimetre here, and then up here, and I'll make 1 centimetre there again still. Remember, we've got to bring this in where it's not quite to a point, but it has a narrow thing at the top, if you can see, like that. Like one's narrower than the other, okay? So I've marked my 1/2 centimetre there. So what I'm going to do, I'm measuring 1, 2, and then on the second millimeter little strip line there, I'm putting a pencil line. Then I'll go up here where there's a centimeter line here that goes straight through. I'm going to go 1, 2, and then in here, that is my 7 millimeters. So we'll mark that out before I go on to the other. Making sure I've got it pretty level. Then I'll go over to that line, and that ruler moved on me a fraction there. So it's not going to be quite lined up. So I go over to my next little line, and then to the corner down here, turn it around again so it can be seen, where that line is here, where that line's marked, I'm going to put my ruler on there, right? And then I'm bringing my ruler over to my next little marking that I've got, and then I will draw a line up there. So then we've got that tiny little line down here, gap down there. So that's a centimetre, centimetre, centimetre. That's a centimetre. This is a centimetre. This is a centimetre. So then I go to my, not the next line, that's the middle. I'm going to the next one, and then I'm lining it up with my little line, dot line down there. Okay, and this part here is 7 millimeters. So along here I'm going to measure again a centimetre. This is the easy way that I make sure I get it to exact what I want. That pencil's not real good either. Oh, here it is. This is what I want. So then I'm going to miss one line here, then do a line there. So that's 2 millimeters, that little gap there. So miss the next line here and go to there. So this is 2 millimeters. And up the top, where this little line here that we marked from there to there is a centimetre. So I'm going to put my ruler on that, then I'm going to mark another centimetre, which is there. Then in the centre I'm putting a line. So this line here is going to be my point line. So I'll get it into focus a bit. So I'm putting my ruler there and my ruler on that other line. So I'm drawing a line. Oops, no, sorry. It's got to go to the centre. So we mark it up to the centre, then we take it over to the next little dot line, and then draw another one. So we'll cut that one out, and I'll just draw a line down there so that I've got it all level for me again to another bead later on. So we'll cut those out. So this is 1 centimetre strip we're cutting off. Then I'm going to cut this other down on this other line, and the other little piece will be a throwaway, but we're actually not throwing it away. We're going to wind that up, because they make little tiny beads, and you can use them if anyone does journaling. You can use them to put on your dangles and that in journaling. So then I'm going to cut this one off. So you don't really waste any paper. You can roll them down to a smaller bead. This piece is to be a throwaway, but we're not going to throw it away. We're going to keep it. And roll them up so they can be used. Oops, I better cut that on my line a little bit better, or it's not going to level out. No hairline off there. I've got to get new glasses, so I'm finding it a bit hard with these glasses I've got. So I've got to turn my head to a certain angle to see it properly. So we're going to cut this one out. This is our little tappet piece. Okay, put that aside. So we've got 1, 2, wait a minute, that one there, that one's got to go over there. Okay, there we go. Then we've got these ones here we're going to roll. And then we've got a black one, we will roll that one also. So we've got them to roll up. So I'm going to use my should have made that bigger for that. My roller. There we go. Okay, I'm just going to use this one because I should have made it to use that one. I've got to add another millimetre to it. So that one you don't have to mark inside because it's black. So I'm just going to make sure my ends are all hunky-dory. I need to trim that one off a bit. So all I do is, because I can see there's a little bit there that needs to be, it's only a hairline, it needs to be trimmed off. Very thin pieces. These scissors are a bit too big for the little thin piece. Okay, let's just got that one done. So that should meet up pretty well. It's still a fraction out. Okay. So then this piece needs to meet up with that one. So we'll make sure they are all hair fraction off that one. Okay, so that'll meet up these. They need to be so exact. I'll put it down where it's white and you can see they need to be exactly the right thing. Then this little one needs to be exact to to that. Gee, I certainly did a bad job at cutting, didn't I? I need to cut that off, fraction off there. Okay, because this end here is going to be the start of the roll, so I'm just going to colour it in a bit, not a great deal, but just so it cannot be seen when I roll. Okay, and I'll take that back a little bit. Let's take it back a fraction. So now we're going to roll it, and I've got quite a big slot there, as you can see. There's quite a big gap there, so we're going to put the paper in there and start rolling our bead. Now this has to be level, and if you find you're sort of going off, just move it a little bit to make it level. But there is a trick that I do when I finished here. I bring it down to the tip to make sure I've got it all level. So now I'm going to use my glue, just glue the end here, and then hold it till it sticks. Don't worry about the bit of the glue that comes out of there, that's fine, just sort of spread it along there, because we are going to glue another piece on there. But just hold it enough, and I'm hoping I have got it right. Yeah. See, they have to be flat across there and flat there. So all I've done is pushed it down and pushed it flat like that. So now I'm going to, where the tip is, you can see the little join there. I'm just going to put a bit of glue along there, and then I'm going to take my other end that's 1 centimetre, and I'm going to push them in flush up against the next one. You can feel it set in there, because we know that they're going to meet up, because we've already checked all that before we started winding them. So I'm just going to hold it long enough for it to stick. So it's like that. Okay. Now we can wind that one around. I'm going to stick it down. Then I'll just shape it if it needs shaping, so that I keep my shape all there. So once again, where the join is, you just run your glue up there, and you'll feel you hit that end piece. Put a little bit of glue there. Then this piece, I'm going to match it up on that one. Okay. Oops, and it come off. Him, my dog barking. Make sure it's level, because it needs to be level. Then you start wrapping it again. And keeping it all centered. What a pretty bead that'll be. And I'll just add glue to there. And I could have went smaller, I guess, with another roller, but I haven't got it in here otherwise. And I would have been able to use a smaller roller, which would have made it smaller still, but I haven't got it in here. I didn't bring it in, but that's okay. And it just would have made a smaller smaller bead like these, and that'll put a smaller eyelet in that one there. But I didn't bring my smaller roller, so I've lost my shape there a little bit, but I'm going to slide it off. And because I've lost my shape, I'm just going to tap it like so. Now where that little bit, you can see that tiny little bit there, I'm going to put a bit of glue in there and push it back. And how I'm going to do that, I'm going to use the edge of my pencil. Don't go that way because you'll roll the paper. I am going the opposite, where it sort of brings it out and around. This side, I'm going to go in the opposite direction, because if I go that way, I'm going to roll it, so I'm going the opposite direction. So I'm just going to tap it. Check that it's all in its place. And then when you're happy about how it looks, just get a heap of glue, run it all around. And what this does is seals all the little pieces, and it stops it from moving. Because I have put my beads on my thing, dripped them, and they've all moved. So they weren't any good. I had to throw them out. I couldn't even salvage them. So by doing this, it holds the shape. Okay, so that's that one done. So we'll sit that one up there to dry, and I haven't got my thing to sit that on to dry, but that'll be fine. That'll dry there. I could use the paintbrush and this. Just put it on my brush handle and just set it like that, and that'll dry. So we'll do another one. Remember, we've got to check that they're all the same. The ends will all meet up. Yep. So I will paint this end so that we don't see the white inside. Oops. Okay, and then we're going to match this end with this one to make sure. And I think that one's pretty okay. That one's perfect. Then we're going to meet this one up with this one. And I think that one's okay too. Yep, that one's perfect also. Now, see where we've got the white pieces around here? Now, if you want it to darken with black, we will go, run your felt pen or whatever colour, it could be gold, but I always put my paper to my left hand and I'm marking with my right. If you're left hand, you will turn it to the opposite direction and mark like that. Mark it like that. Because if I'm right hand, I'm doing this. Why I do that is that you're not going to like let it slip like I've done there, and otherwise you'll mark your paper there, and you don't want that to happen. So we just mark it down. See, I slipped again there. Always remember to mark away from you, not towards, sort of thing. So I'll turn it around and I'm going to do the same. And you'll see why when we roll it, you'll see why we do this. You have the black showing and not the white. Okay, that one done. So I'll mark these. I just don't have a very steady hand anymore. Comes with the age. Oops. So then I'll do the little thin strip. You can lay it down and run the Nico up along it, but I seem to still miss a lot. So I know when I'm doing this, I'll get the biggest part of it covered. And it does get a little bit tricky as you're coming down. Okay, then we'll turn it around and do the other side. Okay. Oops. So now see what I mean by missing. If you're a bit unsteady on your hands, you mark all your paper. So we're going to wind this end. Oops. Get it rolling. And you see I still miss some. That's okay, we can fix that up. And if you want to, I've done it too, is you can mark just the one if you like, and not mark the rest with the edges. I've done that also, where just the top is has the black lining, like this part here is just black around there. And sometimes I'll mark the whole caboodle. I'm going to push it down, holding it, push it down, get rid of the glue. And I'm going to join my other piece on. I've still got a bit of glue that seeped out there, so that was good. So I'm just going to hold that for a little bit for it to stick. My fingers are getting sticky. Now I'm going to wrap that one around. And you can see the black. Okay, make sure I've got that end centered. Sorry, that noise. That's my stoma, guys. Sorry about that. I can't help it. It makes funny noise. I do apologise, but I can't help it. I had cancer, so I have a I don't have a bowel anymore, except I have my bowel is my stoma. So if you hear funny noises, that's it. And I've only had that surgery done this year. My last one, I hope. Because I've had, in 2.5 years, I've had 3 bowel surgeries done. So I'm keeping it centered. Okay. So there we go, there's another one. But see where you can still see a bit of the white at the top? I don't want that. So what I'm going to do is just go round the top to cover up the little bits of white that I missed. I'm not going to go down the sides, but I am just going to do the top. See? Then I'm going to slide it off. I have a pair of tweezers that will help me slide off. Well, I did have a pair of tweezers. Here we go. I use a pair of tweezers because it goes flush up against my bead and they slide off quite easily. Now to get it back in shape, I just tap the end. That will make it flat. So I'm just going to go back around there again because there's a lot of white pieces I can see where I've missed. A lot of it will be covered up with your eyelet or your grommet, whatever you guys call them, but here in Australia we call them eyelets. Okay. Now where my paper is lifted there, I'm just going to put a bit of glue down in there to glue it down. Go the other way and then I've got to go that way with it. I think that's pretty well got it all glued down. Wipe my glue off. You can see that's where the glue come out there. And the excess glue out. Okay, so there's our other one glued. Now to hold the shape, I'm just going to run some glue around it, just so I don't lose my shape. I'll do the tops too so it'll hold there and it won't move on me. So I'm just going to run the glue around on the top. There we go. So we'll put that one on paintbrush handle to dry. Need a wet one to get the glue off my hand. So now I'll do the black one. I just want to take all the dry glue off my fingers. Otherwise I can leave marks on your paper and I don't like that. Okay, so now again we're going to measure up to make sure, and it's a bit hard to see when it's black. This is where I might have to file it. That one's alright. See if that one will meet up. And it's not meeting up, so I'm going to have to take a fraction off the sides of that one. So that they will meet up. Okay, those meet ups. Now we need to see if this little one will meet up at the bottom. And these ones here actually was cut with my Cricut. So not everything is a perfect cut. I'm just going to take a little fraction off that one too. Just a tiny little hair shave there. Okay, now we're going to roll. Make sure I've got my paper right. I'm just rolling it. And this will be a good one to show how I apply my nail pieces too. So I'll dip these tonight. I'll dip them tomorrow. I'll give time for the glue to set properly, and then I'll glue them. Then I'll come back through the week and upload another video of the part 2 of putting this together. So then I get my other little piece, which is this end. Might need a fraction, a bit more glue there. So I'm flushing that up against there, making sure I am flush. As I said, it's hard to see when you're working with black. But it seems to be okay. So now I'm going to roll this one up. Oh, somehow this one's rolling a lot bigger than my others. It's rolling a lot bigger. But that's okay. And if you're not happy at them when they're too big and you don't want them on your bracelet, you can also put them on a pendant with a cord. This one here, I had to go at rolling with breakfast cereal box, but it's pretty big, so I'm just going to paint it up, and I make hangers also out of paper beads, so I'll just put it to a hanger, like a charm type of thing, and I hang them off the doorpost or doorknob. And I'll show you that one when we come back for part 2. So I've just added my other paper bead, my other piece of paper. And for some reason this one is rolling too big. But that's okay. I think this bit of cardstock might have been thicker than what I usually use, because if I got long strips left, I will cut them up for Pandora beads, but I think I've might have been the thicker the paper, because the thicker the paper, the bigger your bead goes. Not in width, but not in height. Hang on, how do we go? Not in width ways, but in height ways, it sort of gets bigger, as you'll see in a sec. But they still make nice Pandora beads. I'm just gluing the center down. Okay, now I'll lever it off. And just check for your shape. It's pretty good. I'm quite happy with that. So once again, I'm just going to add glue to keep my bead all in shape. Just cover it all over. It doesn't take much to keep it in shape. I'll just do the sides of it. Run that around both sides. And I'll wipe my hands, and I'll put that on my... So you see there we've got our Pandora beads, but that one is a lot wider, so I think that cardstock that I used was a little bit thicker. Yeah, it's just a fraction, as you can see. It's just a little bit fraction bigger. Just the GSM was a little bit larger, so, but that's okay. I still like it. It'll come up pretty. So that's our Pandora beads. So I hope you ladies had enjoyed this video, and I hope that the lady that inquired, it met her what she wanted to know. Please leave a comment, and if you're new to the channel, thank you for watching if you just popped in to watch. But to get updates with what I do, subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to press the little bell, and you'll be notified when a video has been uploaded. Press the like button, but please leave a comment. It's good to see if you need something, like to know how I did something else, you know, or ask me if I can make flowers. Yes, I can make flowers from material. So it's just little things like that. Maybe you might want to know, how do you make a notebook? I can show you that, but I'll try and do my best to be able to find a way to show you what you ask, and if I can't do it, I will let you know. So thank you for watching. Just read the description below. You'll find what I've used and that sort of thing. God bless. Please be safe. And I know overseas it's a weekend. I'm a Sunday afternoon, and it's 3:30, or getting on to 3:30, I should say. God bless. Please stay safe, and see you next time. Bye.